Okay guys, this is question 13. So it says the functions f and g are defined as follows. So it says the function fx is x squared plus 1, and it says the function g of x is ax plus b, where a and b are constants. So that just means a and b are numbers, but they're not giving us the numbers. They're only giving us letters and start variables instead of them. Okay, so they are replacing the numbers with letters, so we don't know what they are. It says if f of 0 is the same as g of 0, and if g of 2 is 15, find the values for a and b. So what they want us to do is find these values. Okay, well, I'm going to start off with this one. Okay, most of us would know, if we knew nothing else, we'd know how to figure out this one. Okay, so I'm going to take g of x, and g of x is ax plus b. Okay, and what this is saying is, okay, in very, like I suppose in maths language, is if we put 2 in for x in this function, it'll spit out 15. Okay, so let's do it. So we'll put 2 in for x, so a 2 plus b, and that will give us 15. Okay, so a little bit of algebra here, and we'll get 2a plus b equals 15. Alright, so there's one equation. Now the other equation is a little bit different than what we've seen so far. It's saying when we put 0 in for this equation, it will be the same as if we put 0 in for this equation. So again, if we weren't too sure, well, we just put 0 in for this equation and 0 in for this equation and let them equal each other, and see where it brings us. Okay, so we'll take the fx function, which is x plus 1, will equal ax plus b. Now they're only equal if we put 0 in for x in both. So 0 squared plus 1 equals a 0 plus b. Okay, so if we work it out, well, 0 squared is 0 plus 1, so we've 1 on this side, and a multiplied by 0 is 0, so we've just b on this side. So straight away we know what b is. Okay, b is 1. Well, we could use that information and work on this equation here to find out what a is. Write it out again. 2a plus b equals 15. Now I know what b is. So, and generally we're going to be using simultaneous equations in these questions, but in this one we don't have to, because we just take our 1 from the b, and we go 2a plus 1, because b we've already found out is 1, equals 15. So 2a equals 15 minus the 1, so 2a equals 14, and then a equals 14 divided by the 2, which is 7. So a is 7 and b is 1. Okay, so that's that one done. Okay guys, so the next question is this. Let's get it right in the page. Okay. Okay, I hope you can see that. So this one says the function fx is x squared plus bx plus c is graphed on the right. So there it is. Okay. Use the graph to find two equations in b and c. Okay. So they want us again to find two equations with b and c in them. Okay. So here's what we'll do. We'll take this point here and we'll take this point here. So I'm going to take this point here first. Okay, So the x number is minus 3. So if I put in minus 3 in here to the x number, it should spit out 3. Okay, so here we go. So I have x squared plus bx plus c, and that's fx. And remember, I said fx is the same as y. Okay, so watch this. If I put in minus 3 squared plus b minus 3 plus c, that should give me, and I'm going to put in for the y here, 0, because look, if I put in minus 3 for the x, it should spit out 0. So I put in minus 3 for the x, and the y is 0. And I'll work that out, and it'll give me minus 3b plus c. Okay, so there's one equation. Okay, so if we look at the next point, well, if I put in 0 for x, it should spit me out minus 3. So I'll do the same again. I'll take this equation, write it out. So f of x equals x squared plus bx plus c. And at this time, if I put in 0 in for x, it'll spit me out the y value, or the fx value, which is the same as y, as we said, which is minus 3. So I put in 0 for x, 0 plus c, and that would spit me out minus 3. Okay, bring this a bit closer. Okay, so let's just tidy this up a bit. We have minus 3 equals, well, 0 squared is 0, b squared is, b multiplied by 0 is 0, and so we have plus c, so it's just c. And I'll just tidy this up a bit. C plus 3 equals 0, because I've just brought that over. Okay, so there's my two equations. Okay, the next thing they want me to do is to solve, so find the values of b and c. Okay, so we'll use these to find what c and b are. Let's start with this one, because this one's easy. C plus 3 is 0, so c then must equal minus 3. Okay, and if we look here, well, I know what c is, so I put it in. So 0 equals 9 minus 3b plus c. And c is minus 3. So there we go. We'll do a bit of tidying up. 0 equals 9 minus 3 is 6 minus 3b. Sorry, 3b. I'll bring the 3b across, so I get plus 3b equals 6. So b equals 2. Now I know I'm after going from capital B to small b there, and I probably shouldn't have, but you know what I mean. So b equals 2. Okay. Okay, and the last one. Using the values for b and c, solve the equation. Now solve, okay, solve means find out what x is. Okay, to find the coordinates of point D. There. We should know from algebra, which you would have done last year, that if we solve this, if we find out what x is, well, the values we get for x are the points that it crosses the x-axis. Okay, So for example, if you just look over here, if we have, just going to bring that down, I'll go through that again, I don't think you saw it. If we solve this, okay, so if we find out what x is, generally we'll get two values for x. Okay, something like this will give us two values for x. And the values for x are where it crosses, where this line crosses the x-axis. Okay, so if you look here, I'm just going to do x squared plus, I don't know, we go 7x plus 12 equals 0. So if I was to solve that, I would do it like this, which is what you're used to. Could use the minus b formula if it was a bit harder. It would be 4 and 3 plus and plus. And then if I was to solve it, it would be x equals minus 3 and x equals minus 4. So what that tells us is this line crosses the graph at minus 3 and minus 4. So it looks something like that. Okay? Right, so that's just to remind you. Okay, so this one is saying, using the values we got for B and C, solve that, and therefore find the coordinates of D. Okay, so here we go. So we have our x squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Now, we know what b is, so we put it in. 2x. And we know what c is, 3 equals 0. Now, it says solve the equation, so solve means find out what x is. And this is a nice handy one because we don't need to use any minus b formula. Okay, so it'll be x and x. Now, numbers that multiply together to give us 3 would be 3 and 1. Now, they must add or subtract to give us a plus 2. So I'm going to make this one the plus 3 and that one the minus 1, because 3 minus 1 is plus 2. Okay, and then I'll let both brackets equal 0, and so therefore x equals 1, and over here this equals 0, so x equals minus 3. Now, so just want you to look at this. If I can get it. Okay, I have a minus 3 here, so one of the values for x is minus 3, and I actually knew that before I even started this sum, because this, well, it's up here as well. Okay, so there it is. Now the other one, well, that's that. That's that point. And what do they want us to find out? Find the coordinates of D. Well, I know the x value is 1. Yeah, I found it here. And what's the y value? Well, the point is on the x-axis, so the y value has to be 0. So that's the point of D. So D equals 0. And you can see it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Hope that helped you out with it. It's not too bad a question, but it might have confused you. Go on to the next one now. Okay, guys. So last one. Question 15. The graph of the function x squared plus kx plus p is that. It's shown on the right. Use the information given to find the values of k, which is that, and the values of p, which is that. So it's kind of like 14. Okay. First of all, it says this point here is 8 on the y. Okay. But if I was to just give that coordinates of a point, it would be 0, 8, wouldn't it? It would be 0 on the x and 8, minus 8 on the y. Sorry, minus 8. And this one then would be 4, 0, because it would be 4 on the x and 0 on the y. Okay, so I just think that makes it a little bit handier on us. Okay, so if I was to put in 4 in for x here, it should spit me out 0. Okay, so let's do it. So f of fx equals x squared plus kx plus p. And again, remember, fx is just another name for y, and it's probably easier in this situation to call it y. So if I put in 4 for x, so 4 squared plus k 4 plus p, well, that should spit me out 0. So we can work it out with a bit of algebra. 0 equals 16 plus 4 k plus p. Okay, so that's one equation done. And the other one, well, if I put in 0 for x, it should spit me out minus 8. So let's go again. So fx equals x squared plus kx plus p. So if I put in 0 for this, 0 plus p, it should spit me out minus 8. And again, a bit of algebra, so minus 8 equals, well, 0 squared is just 0, and k multiplied by 0 is 0, and we have p left. So p equals minus 8. So that was easy. So p equals minus 8. I could do a bit more with this actually now. Okay, I could put the p in for that. Okay, and I'll simplify it a bit more. Okay, so let's keep going. 0 equals 16 plus 4k minus 8, because I know what the p is now. Okay, so this means that I'm just carrying this on. Okay, I'm simplifying it a bit more. So 0 equals 16 minus 8 is 8 plus 4k. So minus 8 equals 4k. So divide both sides by 4, divide by 4. So that's minus 2 equals k. Okay, so I found k and I found p. And it says hence find the coordinates of a. So there. Well, here's the thing. I know the second coordinate, the y coordinate, is going to be 0 because it's on the x-axis. Okay, so I'm looking for the x number. So here we go. We're going to take this function again. X squared plus kx plus p, and we are going to let it equal 0, okay, because we're looking for the roots. And what we're going to do now is we're going to put in the values that we know k is and that we know p is. So x squared plus k is minus 2, so it's minus 2x minus 8 equals 0. And this looks, I'm just thinking now, yeah, this looks another handy one to factorize. So we don't need the minus b formula, just factorize it like that. Okay. Just to go back, it says hence find the coordinates of point A. Okay, so it's that. So we want to find one of the roots, yeah, and that's just another way of saying solve this. Okay, so if we want to find the points at which a line crosses the x-axis, we need to do this. We need to solve it, solve for x, okay, and let it equal 0. Okay, so here we go. X. Numbers that multiply together to give us 8. So 8 multiplied by 1, 4 multiplied by 2. And they have to add or subtract to give us minus 2. Well, 8 plus 1 is 9, 8 minus 9 is 7, so it's not that. So 4 plus 2 is 6, no, 4 minus 2 is 2. Okay, so we're using that one. Now they have to multiply together to give us a minus 8, so the signs must be different. because unlike signs give minus when we multiply. And they must add together to give us minus 2. So that means the bigger number is going to have to be minus, the smaller is going to have to be plus. Let both equal 0. And solve. Okay, now let's look at this one. We're after getting two solutions here because we're after finding the 2 points at which it crosses the x-axis. So here's one of them, but I knew that already because look, they tell us already it's 4, 0. Okay? And out of interest, if I put that 4 back into that equation, it would equal 0. Okay, so this one I knew already because of the graph. This one I didn't, but now I do. It's minus 2. So the coordinate of A, the coordinates of A, well, the x number is minus 2, and the y number must be 0 because it's on the x-axis. Okay, that's it, guys. I hope that helped. So best of luck.